Yo, what's going on? I'm Marcus. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, I'm grateful that y'all continue to allow me the opportunity to talk about things that's going on and y'all actually give a damn and tune in. So I appreciate it. I'm very grateful. If you get some value out of this content, like, share, subscribe, comment, licensed attorney, natural attorney, reactions. Let's dive in and get it. Now, in 2024, it was the year of politicians, particularly local politicians, crashing and burning. We've seen everything from SA allegations to misuse, appropriation of funds, bribery, people being caught on camera. I mean, it was just absolutely insane. And hey, here we are, not even 2 weeks into 2025, and it looks like things are getting, I don't know, more ridiculous or more of the same. I don't really know what you want to call it. But let's take a look at this video. It's about a mayor who thought he was Avon Barksdale or Nino Brown and was actually charged with drug trafficking charges. Let's dive in. Let's get it.
In tonight's crime report, a big one. The mayor of Bogalusa is under arrest.
He's accused in a drug ring investigation. WGN's Jordan Lippincott is at the Washington Parish Jail in Franklin. Jordan.
Kurt, Susie, Bogalusa Mayor Tyrin Troung was arrested by Louisiana State Police this morning and booked into the Washington Parish Jail. We're expecting his release any moment now after posting a $150,000 bond. About half a dozen Louisiana State troopers arrived at Bogalusa City Court Tuesday morning after announcing the arrest of the city's mayor, Tyrin Troung. The 25-year-old mayor and 6 others are accused of being part of a drug trafficking organization out of Bogalusa.
Let's keep in mind this individual, I think he was the youngest mayor in the town. If I'm not mistaken, according to reports, it looks like he was running for mayor at the age of 23.
State troopers weren't the only ones at Bogalusa City Hall.
I'm coming to show my support because he's innocent. He's not guilty of any charges,
Okay. I like that people are writing for persons who they have faith in. But hey, I always say, let's just get all the facts first before you jump out there and say this person isn't guilty of all charges. I didn't even pull up the complaint at this point because I just was like, not yet, maybe. And honestly, the amount of the bond is a state charge. I was just like, nah, that's not a DFD deep dive. But hey, there's nothing wrong for riding for your people. But hey, we like to be objective and get all the facts. Even if it's somebody we rock with, we need to say, hey, this isn't the person that I know, but let's hear all the facts first before we jump out there.
And I'm going to back him to the end because he's innocent.
Members of the organization allegedly used social media to distribute opioids, marijuana, and MDMA. Investigators believe the profits from the drug sales were used to purchase guns, which in some cases landed in the hands of those who were prohibited from owning a gun. Trong is also being accused of soliciting for prostitutes. However, his supporters believe he's being framed because of racial bias.
Our city has so much racism, so much bigotry, so much hatred. There's such a division of white and black, even in the areas that we live. There's so much that it's an embarrassment now.
During a Tuesday press briefing in New Orleans, Attorney General Liz Murrill said additional arrests are likely.
So it is an ongoing matter, and I think that you'll continue to hear us address problems in the city of Bogalusa.
The mayor's supporters credit him for reducing the city's crime and providing resources for children.
And if we lose him, we've lost a good thing.
We reached out to a few Bogalusa City Council members. Councilwoman at large Penny Douglas replied via text message, no comments. That council meeting has already started tonight, and we'll have more on that meeting tonight at 10, as well as the mayor's release from jail. Susie, Kurt. All right.
Okay, so now that we heard it, let's talk about it real quick. $150,000 bond. He probably had to pay $15,000 or $20,000 to actually bond out. According to the reports, lower crime services for kids, but that's crazy work to lower crime, but you are charged with a crime, a serious crime that potentially has putting guns on the streets. I don't know. We have to see how this one play out. I'm gonna keep a tab on this story, but hey, shout out to the criminals and the alleged criminals who aren't that smart. Using social media to engage in illegal activity is probably not that smart. And I would bet if you just Google it, I literally just put it in Google, and the first thing that popped up in recent years, law enforcement, local and federal law enforcement has been using social media to investigate and prosecute drug related crimes. They use this to target suspected drug trafficking, money laundering, and other illegal activity. Hey, shout out to the a round of applause. A big shout out to the criminals who just are making bad moves, who aren't being smart. A round of applause to you because y'all keep people like me gainfully employed. But it's actually a terrible story. Maybe I'll do a deep dive. But before we jump out, I know y'all probably thinking, man, this young dude, he trafficking is wild. Why this brother had to do that? But it has no stupidity has no bounds. Again, these are allegations, aren't proven, but potential stupidity has no bounds. And I want to show y'all one more story before we get out here, just to see that it happens to people from all backgrounds, all ages. They make stupid moves, and it is what it is. Let's go ahead and jump back into the video because I want y'all to see this before we jump out of here.
Case that we're following has to deal with the small town of Progresso. Now, the city, since 2014, has had 4 mayors. One is already serving federal prison time. Another is awaiting trial on drug trafficking charges. And today, in a 4 Investigates exclusive, former Progresso Mayor Arturo Aleman pled guilty to federal drug trafficking charges. He admitted to participating in a conspiracy to smuggle cocaine through the Sarita checkpoint. Now, as part of his plea agreement, Aleman confessed to acquiring tractor trailers to transport drugs from the valley to other parts of the country. Sentencing is scheduled for January. Aleman faces 10 years to life in federal prison. Now, during today's hearing, federal prosecutors said that the case against Aleman is linked to this man right here, Joe Salas Jr. He's a former bus driver for the Progresso Independent School District, and the Alanis brothers right there. Salas was caught with about 30 pounds of cocaine in August of 2020 when he attempted to drive through the checkpoint near Sarita. From his arrest, prosecutors arrested 8 people and charged them, including the former mayor Jerry Alanis and his brother Frank Alanis, who served on the Progresso ISD school board. Now, the Alanis brothers have
mayor, school board, bus driver, 30 pounds of illegal drugs. Like 30 pounds of drugs, like that's not no small time stuff. The first story we talked about state charges. I didn't recall the amounts, but this dude got fed charges. This is actually a much more interesting case. But I show this just to show that this stuff is actually more common than it should be and than we would think.
Have already pled not guilty. They're scheduled to be on trial next month. Aleman's attorney said that he didn't know if prosecutors would ask Aleman to testify against the Alanis brothers. You can read more on the story right now on valleycentral.com.
Now, I would suspect he's asking about testifying because he does not want to get on that stand. 30 pounds. Well, if you could get your hands on 30 pounds, you have a plug who is probably a good plug, who probably has some connections, and he is in fear of his life. But this stuff isn't uncommon. It's actually sad as hell that we can't get elected officials to do the right thing. And part of it is a little bit of stupidity. A part of it is they don't make a lot of money in compared to the persons they have to interact with. The business is sad across the board. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, make sure you check out the content on the screen. There's going to be more content related to attorney reactions.